Well, hello there, vinyl community. Elliot here, Lazy Dogs Records, down here with Chester. And let's see, here's Chester. Say hey, Chester. Chester is up for a Ghostie in the favorite pet category, and I hope all you voters in the Ghosties will give Chester, don't scratch yourself while you're on camera, buddy, will give Chester their vote. He is well deserving of that. Aren't you, Chester? Yes, sir, he sure is. Well, I hadn't done a video in a while, and I thought I would do a random record pull, because the snobs in vinyl collecting hate random record pulls or whack-a-moles or show and tell type YouTube videos, because they think it's I don't know, because they're snobs. And just the regular folks, they love show and tell type random record pulls, whack-a-moles, whatever else. This is what I got lately or whatever. So that's what I'm going to do. Is I have all the places in my basement here that have records, all the shelves. There's a card for each shelf, and I'll randomly pull them, and that's what I will pull from and then show you. And I'll put them, Beatles content, gotta have Beatles content, I'll put them in this Beatles bag I got at Barnes & Noble or somewhere like that. What are we listening to while I'm doing this? The brand new album from the Malphus Brothers, Chris and Taylor. Lonely Street it's called, and I'll probably do an album review on this at a later time. This is my first listen to this the Malphus Brothers album. Okay, so here we go, real quick. Rubber band broke. Okay, so I'll randomly pull a card. Rock and Pop from the first shelf. Rock and Pop from the third shelf. Country, second shelf. Rock and Pop from the second shelf. Wow. Singer-songwriter from the second shelf. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to go pull these without looking at the actual records, and come back and take them out of the bag one at a time and see if I can tell you a little something. Okay, I'm back, and of course you gotta trust me that I haven't looked at these. I did slightly see one. I couldn't help but see it as I was trying to put another one in the bag, but believe me, I can't think of much to say about it, so it didn't really matter. But I haven't looked at these, and I'll see what I can say about each one. Okay, from my collection, 3 of them came from the rock and pop section, 1 from country, and 1 from singer-songwriter. Okay, Michael Martin Murphy. Album from what, about 1982. I used to play this at songs from this on my radio show when I was in college at Appalachian State University, ASU. The Mountaineer Country show I did on Saturday mornings, and I had this album, and this is the very one I played from. A more commercial Michael Martin Murphy than some of his earlier stuff from the 70s, which was more what we would probably call Americana today. And Hearts in the Right Place is on here. Still Taking Chances, I believe that might have been the 45 from this that got played on country radio. His Michael Murphy was how his early albums appeared, but they added the middle name. Why? Because there was someone else in the entertainment industry named Michael Murphy that was more prominent than him, and he wanted to distinguish himself from them, not be mistaken. Okay, so country music, good pretty good country music from the early 80s. Okay, Fleetwood Mac, then play on reprise, reissue from 1970, 76. Fleetwood Mac, so many different configurations of the band. This particular one, was Green still on this one? Still with them when this one came out? I'm thinking he wasn't. This record's in kind of rough shape. It graded it at very good. On reprise, as people have noted, the Kerwin is on here and Green is on here, and of course McVie and Fleetwood. Christina wasn't on there yet. There's so many different configurations, and Green did almost all the songs, wrote almost all the songs on here. Chester, you're just going to have to wait to go out for a minute. Sorry. And anyway, there they are. What's height of Mick Fleetwood? About 6'6", something like that. He's a tall fella. 76. Not that's not the year it was actually done, though. I think this is a reissue from 76. Prior to the lineup that became the pop sensation of the late 70s. Okay, and Beatles content. Can't get away from it. I'm not a huge Beatles fan. I mean, I like the Beatles. I wouldn't say I'm not a fan by any means. Grew up with the Beatles. This is something new, the 64 mono from Capitol. Came out as a very good plus record for me. Oh, okay. This is a Evelyn Faulkner record. I bought Eleanor Faulkner and her boyfriend's records at a antique shop in Benson, North Carolina. Got about 60 or 70 records. The guy didn't really care anything about trying to sell records. He had picked them up, and I got a decent price on them. But I always loved these records because they had her name on them, and others had his name on them, and you could tell something had happened. They got married, for instance, because then they had both their names on them, on some of them. Lots of Beatles, Beach Boys, a lot of soul music from the mid-60s. Loved one of the first Persons collections that I ever picked up, and they were living in the Southern Pines area of North Carolina when I got that. But I mean, what do you say about a Beatles album? The Beatles are the Beatles. This would be records they bought at the time, not later pressing. So like I say, this is a 64 mono, something new. Okay, and yep, this is what I thought it was when I accidentally saw it. This is a quirky album. Kate and Anna McGargle. Okay. And the album is called Dancer with Bruised Knees. I've only listened to this a couple of times since I got it. It's a good album. I enjoy them. They're just kind of a quirky sister group. And I think how I came to know even a little bit of something about them was they're affiliated with some other artist that maybe does some of their songs or something like that. And I can't even remember who it is or was. Did Linda Ronstadt do some of her material, some of their material, or okay, Joe Boyd produced it, and this is from '77. I'm wanting to think they're Canadian, or maybe they're UK folks. I'm not certain, but Joe Boyd was the American that went to London and worked the folk rock circuit as a booking agent, club owner, and producer, and those sorts of things, I do believe. That's about all I can tell you about that. Somebody tell me in the comments more about them. I'll have to listen to the album. Oh, okay. Here's an interesting one I picked up from 1984 on Estate Record Company, The Deads. the Deads, just kind of a pop band out of the state of Virginia, and just an interesting little bit. This is a promo copy, it appears, torn right there where a sticker was, and one of the guys in this band, unfortunately, sadly, I'm not sure which one it was. He and his family were all killed in Richmond. I think he lived in Richmond, murdered by in a home invasion. And the drive-by truckers, it seems like, did a benefit, and other groups did some benefits. But the whole family, children, everything. Oh, gruesome! What an awful note to end on here. But this is just some fun pop music, 80s, mid 80s power pop type stuff. The Deads. So, well, that's a random record pull from Lazy Dogs Records. Hopefully they didn't run very long. Very light, fluffy content, just showing you 5 records that I randomly pulled from my collection. So everybody remember, take care, be kind to your neighbors, because we're all neighbors.